So let's see. Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now if I just go off my mic? Does that help at all? This is the lip reading channel. Can you guys hear me now if I turn off both my mics? All right. Sorry about that. I have no idea what is up. Those are my normal mics that I use, so sorry about that. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Sorry about that. Always some form of technical difficulties. All right. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for the patience. So, well, since there was absolutely nothing that anyone heard at the start, just want to know how your weekends went. If you were delivering this weekend or out doing any sort of side hustle gig work, would love to hear how that went. I did kind of normal delivery Friday and Saturday, and then Saturday night at the end of the evening, right around 8 o'clock or so, my engine temperature started going up, like skyrocketing quickly, which is like super, super not good, not something you want to be driving around on. And so, and by the way, I haven't even said hi to everybody. So, Lucian, thank you so much for coming in. Ryan and Cole, thank you, everybody. Scout, thank you guys all for letting me know. I love it, the lip reading channel. So, if you want to try to figure out what I was saying, absolutely. I figure I could just do this for like hours on mute and see how long it would take for people to do. Uh, DD, oh, you're so funny, so funny. Um, Bretford, thank you for the beard love. Always appreciate that. So, all right, let's see. We gotta put one. We already gotta put somebody in timeout. All right, come on, guys. Um, anyway, so the temperature in my engine went up and up and up, and so I just brought it home because I was close to home after the delivery. Obviously, you don't want to run on a super hot engine. So this morning I took it. I needed to get an oil change anyway, and so I just took it to the local quick oil change deal, and had them add 2 quarts of coolant because I was kind of low, and that did not fix it either. And of course, it's a Sunday, so all the other places are done. So I got to take the car in for diagnosis. We could be dealing with, yes, water pump, Lucian, is a possibility. Thermostat would be a possibility. You know, hoses. There's a lot of different things. So I did some bits and pieces of research, and of course, just adding more coolant is the cheapest option. In fact, they actually just top off your fluid levels at my little Valvoline place for free. So I'm in this nothing yet, but obviously you have to have an engine that keeps cool. They didn't inspect all the belts, and I inspected the belts as best as I could see, and they looked fine yesterday. No, I got a squeaky chair. So you're gonna hear more noises you don't normally hear because both my mics are just absolutely shot tonight. So I don't know what is going on with that. So you're gonna get all the little creaks and different things that normally get blocked out by a mic. But that's why we're just slowly building the channel, trying to increase our income stream and keep increasing the technology, give you guys the best listening experience possible. And some days you just can't fight technology, just let it be what it is. So anyway, after that, I thought after putting the coolant in, I thought the car was gonna run fine, and it seemed good. And then as soon as I started moving, it went up again. So there's no car repair place open today that's not going to charge an arm and a leg or anything like that. So I'm going to take that in tomorrow. But I was on the sidelines today, and we needed groceries, and so I flipped the script today. So I was the Instacart customer today, and made a purchase. Actually, 2 different purchases. Did a Publix purchase and a Costco purchase. So Costco, we get, obviously bulk sorts of items at Costco, and then Publix, we get kind of the thing like you just need one of. Like we needed a lemon and a lime. I don't need a bag of lemons and a bag of limes. Yogurt, cottage cheese. So just certain things that we get more at the Publix side, and so place an order for both. Now here's how I do, and this is if you're familiar with the channel, you'll understand. But this probably kind of goes against what you would think most delivery drivers would do. I tend to tip a little bit lower and give myself margin to increase the tip, because I've had a lot of poor delivery experiences, including things like, so one of the big things around here is I'll have Costco shoppers who will refuse to get the water even when it's in the store, and they'll mark it as not being available. Like, that's part of the reason that I do. And then what Instacart does is it'll yell if you try to decrease the tip after delivery, it'll yell at you. So I've done the opposite now, where I'll put a slightly lower tip in at first, and then if they do a standard job, I'll increase it, or if they do an excellent job, I'll really increase it. And so, anyway, so my first driver today, and here's the thing: both orders from my perspective as the customer had things that could have been potential issues today. So I'll go through first. I ordered the Publix first, and I paid a little bit. I paid up for the faster delivery because we actually had lunch food in there and everything like that, and we just decided to do the Publix fried chicken today. It's kind of a family favorite, super easy. Just took a day off from cooking so we could have a little extra family time today. Since it was an unexpected day home, we decided to make the most of it, both working on projects but also doing some extra family times, which I'll get into that in a little bit. But ordered it, and she was super young, one of the youngest drivers that I'd ever seen. She's probably, you know, late teens, early 20s. And I think her profile said she'd started in May. So she was super new to Instacart, and you could tell she was kind of nervous and still kind of getting used to everything. Well, she dropped everything off, and we came out to help her because we always try to come out and help the drivers, because I know I always appreciate that help on my side. Well, after we went through everything, it turned out that we were missing like a bag's worth of stuff, a bunch of cold things, and so one of the yogurts, and I forget what else. There was like 3 or 4 things that we were missing, and I contacted her right away because I was like, okay, well, we'll just see. And she came back, and she sent a message with a picture right away saying, "Oh my goodness, so sorry. I thought that was my own bag or whatever." And I really don't think she was trying to take it or anything, because this was all cold stuff and she didn't have a cooler. Again, I always advise having a cooler and having, way to keep stuff cold. But she was super close to the store. I mean, we were like a mile and a half from the store, but no working vehicle today. So that's why we took advantage of Instacart. And so you have to realize that too, right? Like, well, he's only a mile away from the store. Why can't he get himself? Well, in this case, I didn't have a working car. And you never know what your customers are seeing, what their experience is from the other side. Anyway, she came back and took her about 10 minutes to get turned around because she had already accepted the next order and was about ready to shop it. She came back, dropped it off, and was still missing a thing. And I let her know, oh, we're still missing one yogurt here. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll go back to the store and get it. I said, no, it's not a big deal. I'll just let Instacart know that it was missing, and they'll refund me and it'll be good. And she said, no, I'm coming back. I got to go shop this other order, and I'll pick up another yogurt for you and bring it back. And I kid you not, 20 minutes later, she knocks at the door with the yogurt that was missing. She came back and did that. That is above and beyond. That is probably above and beyond what I would have done. I was kind of humbled by that, because most likely she probably had to pay for that second yogurt out of her own money. I don't know if she could have gotten an authorization from Instacart to somehow do that, like be able to go back and pay for it again, even though she's moved on to the next order. So I don't know. Now, the order wasn't perfect. There were a few little snippets of different things, but the extra effort, her apologetic nature from just for making the mistake and everything. And so yeah, so when she came back and did that, we increased her tip. Okay. Now my Costco experience was the guy shopped it super, super fast. And I was like, but he was stuck, and I could see he didn't know where one thing was, and it was Cheez-Its. Okay, so he's looking for Cheez-Its, and we're doing like a family vacation day this week. So we're just buying a couple of fun snacks for the kids to have just for a day. We're gonna do like just basically a family, or what do we call it? Family funcation day. And I could tell he didn't know where the Cheez-Its were. And so I let him know, hey, this is where they probably are. And he said, oh, thank you. He got it. And checked out, and everything was good. But then there was no movement. We were the first drop off. There was just absolutely no movement from him. He was still at the store like 15 minutes later. And I was getting nervous, and I was starting to get frustrated. And kind of had a second like humbling experience today after all of it. And I reached out, is everything okay? And he didn't respond. And I'm just thinking, this is where my mind goes to, right? And so this is not, I'm not saying I was in the right here, but this is where my mind goes to because I know we have shoppers who shop multiple batches and then they just park the cart somewhere off to the side and, they're either using bots or they're whatever. And so I was getting really nervous. I even reached out to Instacart, like, hey, could you get in touch with this guy and find out what's going on? Well, the long story short of it was he's not normally a Costco shopper. He's normally a Publix shopper, but he kind of worked his way down. He normally works kind of further north than us, but he worked his way down a little bit further south because he said it was kind of dry up by him, so he just wanted to check things out. Grabbed this Costco order, which was mine and somebody else's. He grabbed those, paired them up, and he, I kid you not, didn't put all the Costco stuff in boxes. He had maybe 15 different hot cold bags, mostly Publix brand, and he bagged everything up in the Costco parking lot. Now, is that a little bit overkill? Perhaps, right? Like, I don't need my bread from Costco bagged up, but that's the way he just does it, right? And so that's the way he takes care of his customers. And so he was bagging up the bread, he was bagging, the cold stuff was together and everything. And I mean, we brought it, and not just bagged, like thrown in a bag, like zipped up in a bag on top of all of that. And so I was just kind of blown away because my first thoughts went to, oh, I'm dealing with a shopper who's using a bot and all these other things. And it turns out he was just doing extra care above and beyond, again, anything that I've ever done. Now, I'll throw my stuff in a cooler, which is essentially the same as cold bags, but I usually, if it's a decent size order, I'm usually just boxing everything up. And so to both of my delivery drivers today, and we sent thank you notes, and I increased the tip. I like tripled the tip for the second guy, because I'd just never seen that customer service. And even told me, I let him know that I was a driver. He even told me, he said, my job is to make sure that the customer doesn't have to do any work whatsoever. And I mean, we had cases of water and different things, and we come out to help them and everything. And yeah, Lucian, you might be right. It's possible he made a mistake one time and he goes above and beyond. But I just thought of it in light of this channel and what we teach on this channel, to put the customer first, to serve other people. And both of my, in both situations, I kind of go to negativity. Like, how do you forget a bag in the car? And then I remember, you know what? I forgot a bag in a car. And then I go to the negativity. Well, maybe he's just taking so long because he's shopping another order. And no, he's taking so long because he's not as familiar with Costco. Maybe he doesn't even know you can just get boxes for stuff at Costco too, right? He said he barely shops Costco. And when he does, he doesn't shop the Costco in my town. He shops the one that's to the north of us. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because when I realized how much time it would have taken to have bagged all of that, it lines up. The timing lines up. And so I just, in the simplest sense, I just say thank you to both of my drivers today, because you are the example of the types of drivers we want to build up and the community that we want to see. Like, is it possible that you can go a little overkill and over the top? Yeah, but you know what? As a customer, I would much rather you go over the top than under the bottom. I don't know what the opposite of over the top is, right? Like, I would much rather you do a little bit. Now, communication skills could be a little bit better, right? That would have helped to say, hey, just so you know, it's going to take me a few minutes, but I'm bagging up all your stuff to keep it fresh and different things like that. But I'm not going to nitpick, because both of them had the heart of servants to come back, right? Because they could easily just say, forget it. I forgot to drop that off. I'm just going to keep it. It's my fault. They could have said that, but they didn't. And they could have, whatever. They could have just thrown everything in the car. They could have actually been shopping something else. So anyway, I just say thank you to both of my delivery drivers today for Instacart, because you did the style of delivery that we encourage on this channel. And again, there's tons of examples of negativity, but today I saw two great examples of Instacart shoppers. One who's been shopping for just over a month, and the other one, the second guy, he had over 6,000 deliveries. And so, thank you to both of them. Thank you to both of them for making a solid delivery experience, going above and beyond what is required to think and care for your customers. So I appreciate that, and I think that is really really cool, and just kind of a highlight of my day, because I'm bummed that I'm not able to be out there because of car issues, but then to do that. And so then beyond that, we have a massive eBay sorting project that we're working on with baseball cards. We've got thousands of baseball cards we're sorting into lots that we're going to get listed on eBay to try to get the bulk out of here. So we did that a lot as a family. And we even did a family game time today. We played the game that I helped create, which is Samurai Brothers. You can, this game is available on Amazon. So if you want to buy this game, it's really fun card game. And if you let me know that you're buying it on Amazon, I'll even autograph it for you. If you want ahead of time, I'd have to unwrap it to do it, but we've sent out autographed copies before. So we did that as a family, just kind of a family fun time. And then the kids are watching the end of the Mets game that's on ESPN right now as they go to sleep, and that's what they're doing. And so we, instead of sitting around and moping saying, oh, my car is not working and there could be cost and different things, we just put our effort into working hard on another project while we were stuck at home. We used the advantage of Instacart that we had, to save us, so that way we don't have to worry about the food and all those other things. We had two great delivery experiences to us, and that was essentially what it is. But I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you to my delivery drivers, and thank you to all delivery drivers out there who go above and beyond, who actually care about your customer and are willing to sacrifice a little bit in profit to make things a little bit better. And I hope that our thank you of increasing your tips is a little bit of repayment for whatever maybe you had to give up in time to do those above and beyond things, because we appreciate you. And it's just great to see that there are good delivery drivers out there, both new and experienced, going above and beyond for their customers. We got 5-star ratings for both. So, Young, you did you order from Instacart or make a mistake delivering Instacart today? So, or play a game today, or and we did our favorite family Publix meal, which is the fried chicken meal. So we did fried chicken and potato salad and macaroni salad. Sacrificed my time for a customer who didn't tell me they were in the pool. Yeah, you know what? That's sometimes that's what it is. And you know what, Young, I appreciate that. Like, even if you didn't get rewarded for that today, that is the style that's going to take you so much further than I think a lot of the other delivery drivers who end up struggling and can't really ever break free. And if you're going to decide to move on to other things, so thank you, even if they didn't thank you, even if they didn't increase your tip. I just want to say thank you to you for doing that, for putting your customer above yourself, for putting people over profits for that short period of time. Yeah. Well, hey, that was a good use of time. Took the other person's delivery, came back after I got the pool message. Yeah, like, so I mean, there are ways. Obviously, we always want to be and doing the best with our time, and I told her 100%, like, you don't have to go back and get the yogurt. But you know what? She did. She did the thing that protects your account, right? Now, I'm not, I don't know if I report that I'm missing. Like, I would report it was missing, right? Because I paid for a product that I didn't receive. Would that hurt her account? Possibly. So if you're trying to protect your account and the customer reaches out, now, I mean, that's what I did, and she like got back right away as soon as she had a chance to say, "Oh my goodness, here's the bag, here's the picture of it," and we had detailed these are the things that we were missing, and everything was in the bag except the one. So I don't know exactly how that happened. If whatever. So had to deliver 300 groceries to a customer that lived on the 12th floor of an apartment, and the elevator was broken. Oh my goodness! Did they disclose the elevator? They probably didn't disclose the elevator was broken. No way. So Did you take it in multiple trips or did you do the leapfrog? So what I recommend, because not 12th floor usually because that's kind of crazy, but we have a lot of 3-story apartment complexes around here that don't have elevators to them because I guess they're just old enough that they were built before that was code and required. So I always recommend the leapfrog if you've got like a bunch of water or just even a large order that you got to take up to like a 3rd floor. I don't know if I could do that. Hey, Young, thanks for dropping in and thanks for sharing your experience today. So we'll be here Sunday through Thursday nights from 10 to 11 p.m. So if you want to come back later tonight, we'll be here, or if not, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll see you talking everything. So yeah, multiple trips. So I think my gut says that the fastest way to do it is leapfrog it up the stairs. So you just take, piles, or groups of bags, and you just take them like, you get everything in, right, as far as you can get it, and maybe you have a wagon that you can get everything in or something like that. And so I'll do this. Sometimes you even have to do this with elevators because elevators want to close really fast. So I'll just, throw a case of water or something heavy in front of the elevator door so it won't close and it'll start beeping at me. And then I'll just bring everything into the elevator as many times as it takes to get in and out, then take it up and then unload everything and then do that. But even with steps, it would be like, okay, say I got a couple of cases of water, I'll go run those up to the next level. Then I'll grab bags and I'll bring them up 2 levels, and then I'll get the 2 cases of water and then I'll run them up 2 levels and the bag, you know what I mean? It's like a leapfrog type of thing. I don't know if I'd want to do that for 12 stories no matter what, but so kudos to you for that, because I know there's a lot of drivers out there that would cancel that as soon as they got there and saw the elevator was broken. There's a lot of drivers, and they must not have told you. They must not have told you in the notes that the elevator was broken. I do feel like there should be some form of compensation that you should be able to call Instacart and say, look, I took this and it's the 12th floor and the elevator's broken. I'm willing to deliver it, but you gotta do that. Oh, it's for Amazon Fresh? All right. Hey, Cat and Jack, how's it going tonight? Just talking, I had 2 positive experiences with Instacart as the customer today being delivered to. So I shared that a little bit. So if you get a chance to get caught up later, you can kind of hear both of those stories. Neither of them were perfect deliveries, and I'm okay with that. But both of them were people that were customer centric, and worked together to do everything. So yeah, even Amazon Fresh, Amazon doesn't care, I guess, because you're just probably paid for the roundabout or whatever with Amazon Fresh. But yeah, they just give it to you, right? Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, that makes sense a little bit, but that's what I would recommend trying that for anybody who's ever doing delivery and stuck in that situation where you've got multiple stairs. I call it leapfrogging. I don't know, maybe there's a better name for it, but just essentially you take as much as ideally you can do this in two batches or whatever, but you take batch 1 up to the first flight of stairs, and you take batch 2 up to the second, and then you go first to third, second to fourth. And I think it's probably one of the most efficient ways to do it, where it's not running everything up and then you got to run all the way back down the stairs and then run everything up. I mean, you're doing about the same amount of stairs, but in my mind, I think it's the more efficient way. So I don't know. That's what I recommend if you ever get stuck in a situation. Seth, I am not educated enough on that entire case, and I don't really get into things that are super political here because that's not really what we're about. So I honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I haven't watched the news in about 3 years, other than when it occasionally comes on after a football game. So I really am not informed, and I'm okay being not informed on the news because most of that just, in my mind, is just a distraction. So it really, here's what I think about George Floyd. I think that whole situation is a very unfortunate situation. I'm just going to leave it at that, because beyond that, I think there's a lot of political stuff in there, and there's a lot of information that I think we don't really have the whole truth of, and I have not studied the case, nor do I really want to spend a lot of time digging into that. So, yeah, multimillionaire mansions that tip well. Hey, look, when you get those, it's good. So yeah, because that's my understanding with Amazon is they essentially just give you the route and you just have to go deliver the route. So, anyway, we'll get into what we're drinking today. It's kind of funny because like we've got to clean out our fridge. So I got 3 like half drank bottles of this Bai Wonder Water. All right, try to make you guys give you freedom and come on, be better than that. So I got 2 of the Bing cherries and 1 watermelon, and we just ran out of room in our fridge. So this is Santa before the Claus. Big bang. Very nice. I like that. I used to get weird orders on DoorDash. Had a Mexican restaurant order, picked up, walked outside, and the app said it arrived at the customer. The customer lived right behind the restaurant. I had one time the customer put the address of the restaurant in as the delivery address, but they were actually like 20 miles away. So I got free Arby's that day because I was not, I'm pretty sure they were kind of trying to get the delivery because they knew no one would take it to them. I did have one. What was it? We have a Turco Taco place, which is like kind of our downtown. It's one of my favorite little local joints. And that one was, I delivered 1 street over. And I was just joking with them. And I was like, man, I thought about just walking it to you guys. And they're like, yeah, you know what? We probably should have just walked over and picked it up ourselves. But they were doing like a game night, like a board game night or something. And they were just all busy playing and enjoying it. And they're just like, hey, we're just gonna have our food delivered over. And they tipped well. And I don't care. It's like, we're here to serve. And here's the other thing too. You have to remember that some people who are rich are in the position to bless, right? So some people who are rich are selfish, right? But there are also people who are rich who are looking for people who are working hard that remind them of them when they were at whatever point in their life, and they're looking for opportunities to bless other people too. And so sometimes that's exactly it, is like, look, you're out here, you're grinding, you're doing this work. I could go and get it, right? A lot of times in those situations, and I mean, in our community, we have thousands of $1 million homes, hundreds of $10 million plus homes, and multiple $100 million plus homes. Okay, so I have a very, very rich clientele that is at least sometimes ordering on these apps. And some of them are stingy, but some of them are generous too, And so I would say on average, I would rather take it to one of the multi-million-dollar homes than not. I would say the multi-million-dollar homes around here tip a higher percentage than the non-multi-million-dollar homes. Now, every single one, no, there's certainly some stingy ones, and sometimes too, it's just, you got to remember too, who is ordering from the home. It may be a multi-million-dollar home, but it may also be like a 15, 16-year-old kid who either doesn't know how to tip, or not all rich kids have access to parents' money. Some do and some don't. And so, but I mean, if I'm playing the odds, if you give me the odds of a multi-million-dollar home or a trailer park home, I'm gonna play the odds that in my market that the better on average tip is gonna come from the multi-million-dollar home. Now, that being said, I've gotten, some of my largest cash tips I've ever gotten. We actually went to an apartment complex, and a lower end apartment complex, not like one of our super high end beach ones, like just a really low end. I handed the guy a pizza and he handed me back $100 bill, cash, real, like, and that was after tipping in the app a few dollars too. And the pizza was delivered from like 5 blocks away. So sometimes people just want to bless, and you can't judge someone's financial position by the house in which they live necessarily. In fact, they may not even live in that house. They might just be someone who's struggling to get by, and a family member took them in. And so, um, yeah, too bad it wasn't Bitcoin. You've probably seen that story, Lucian, about like the guy who offered to pay for his pizza and like offered him, like, this was like years ago, of course, but like offered him like 30 Bitcoin to for a pizza or whatever, and they said no. Something like that. Um, yeah, I forget what it was. Was it 10,000? It was like, yeah, it's crazy. Like whatever that is. It's good stuff. Um, yeah, I forgot all the details of the story, but it's just like the world if we had known, right? It's that's amazing. Um, so anyway, that's tipping, right? So tipping can vary. It varies. I mean, I've gotten an $80 tip from a multi-million dollar home, got an $100 tip cash from a low end apartment complex, and I got another $100 cash tip from a middle class, you know, middle class house, right? So I've gotten great tips on from all, and I try to have a baseline level of customer service that I will give to everyone, whether they tip or not, right? And so this just gets back to the channel philosophy: serve, learn, grow, adapt. You start with the serve. Now, if I know someone is a big tipper or a good tipper, or there is a potential to unlock a better tip, I will take calculated risks that will attempt to unlock a higher tip, right? Because we want to make the most that we possibly can. So I remember a time, this was quite a few months ago now, but I forget what it was. Um, it was like a taco place or something, or it was a burrito place. Bubba Coo's Burritos. I don't know if they're a national chain or not. And they had ordered root beer, I think, and they were out. And I didn't know what to do. So what I ended up doing was, on the way to them, I just stopped by and picked up like a $2 2 liter of root beer to add to their order. And I picked it up and I added to the order. I said, hey, the restaurant was out of root beer, but I picked this up along the way. Hope it works for you. So, and I think they ended up increasing the tip by like $4. So by making the extra stop for the root beer, I made an extra $2, and doing an above and beyond. Now, is it possible that they would not have increased their tip? Absolutely. And that's okay, because in that particular situation, the gas station was along the way. It didn't take any longer. They had already had a decent tip on it. It's like when you know you're dealing with a decent tipper, it does make it easier to go a step above your baseline level of customer service. And honestly, that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think that everybody should get the best service that you ever give on every single order. Like that's not what I'm trying to teach here on the channel. I think everybody should get a baseline level of service regardless of whether they tip or not, that is still a step above what your competition offers, okay? So your baseline level of service should be better than what the competition around you does. So whatever that is. So in my market, it's things like using a cooler, right? So I appreciate both of my deliveries today, but the girl who did Publix, she didn't have a cooler. Everything was just like rolling around in her trunk. I mean, she kept cold stuff together. It was bagged well, but there was no cooler. So my baseline is like, I got a cooler, right? I'm gonna try to get the order there directly, and I'm gonna try to over communicate. And that was kind of my slight issue with the second guy. Was like, hey, is everything okay? And he didn't respond for 15 minutes. It would be a whole lot better for him to just say, hey, just here's the deal. I'm bagging everything up. Take a quick picture saying, boom, this is it. And then it's like, okay, well, now I know. Now I know you're not just shopping another order at Costco. You're not using some bot or whatever, different things. So, hey, Lucian, stay safe. Stay safe for the bad storm and everything. But thanks for hanging out and chatting with us tonight. It'll be posted up later. So usually with between 1 and 12 hours after the live stream, it usually gets posted up. So anything else that you miss. But thanks so much for hanging out. Chad, how's it going? I'm doing well tonight. I ordered from Instacart today, and so shared a little bit about my experiences, and both had like little wrinkles that weren't perfect, but the drivers went above and beyond. And so if you want to catch the whole story, you can kind of rewind to the beginning later and do that. Cat and Jack, I love to bless, but sometimes I bless myself broke. Yeah, and this is this is kind of where the heart of the channel is. This is like a story. So quite a few years ago, I remember I was driving cross country and stopped somewhere in the mountains of Tennessee. Thank you so much. I don't usually actually wear glasses for the live stream, but I needed a break from contacts today. So we're going glasses. They're actually kind of broken. They need to be super glued, but they're good enough for around home use. So, and I remember I stopped in the mountains of Tennessee, and there was a couple in front of me, and they were trying to pay, and I can't remember if they were using like a EBT, food stamp type of card, or if it was just their credit card and it wasn't working, but they just were trying over and over and over again. They couldn't get in. You could see they were getting embarrassed, and they were, and I looked at the cart, and it was obvious that it was like food for their family, and it wasn't extravagant, it wasn't crazy, and I forget what it was. I want to say it was like $50 or something like that. Now remember, this is maybe 4 years ago, so before food prices went crazy. So, and it was like a Walmart. So, and I was just in the position then to pay for their groceries. And like that was really cool. And then I remember, I want to say it was like a year or so ago, and it was a similar situation, and everything was like, it was like a replay. And then I remember like looking and knowing where my bank account was, that I couldn't do that. I was not in a position. I was willing, and I physically did not have any way to pay for their groceries. And it absolutely made me heartbroken that I wasn't able to do that. And that was kind of like a big turning point for me. It's like, I've spiraled in the wrong direction here so far that I can't even bless somebody. I'm willing and I'm not able. There's so many people out there who are able but not willing, and I'm willing and not able. I'm like, I need to fix this. And that's like a big part of my journey, to say, like, I need to turn my personal financial situation around, so that way there should never be a time that there's someone in front of me with $50 of groceries that gets stuck and can't pay, that I can't just hop in and say, boom, I got that for you. Not for glory, not for fame, not for YouTube clicks, but just for humanity's sake. And I was like heartbroken that day, and it was like realizing how much I wanted to help and I couldn't, because I'm just scraping by. And like, yeah, I still have a long ways to go, but I'm seeing the trajectory where it's like, okay, hopefully in the next year I'll be at that point where it's like, if I see somebody who's truly struggling and in need, I'll be able to do that again. And that's a good sign that I'm getting back on the right track. And so, yeah, like, how do you not bless yourself broke? Well, obviously, that's part of what this channel is all about, though, too. It's like, we want to help you build up all these income streams. Like, it's not going to necessarily come fast. It may take a couple of years to get all of them built up the way that you want them to be. It may take a while to figure out which ones are right for you. But there's too much hurt in this world to be in a position where you're willing to help but unable. And beyond just taking care of your family, to be able to help somebody out who's truly in need, like that's something that we want to be all about, and to help people who are kind of, even because I'm still in that situation, but like that's where we want to get to, is like, so we talk about, we want to move 10,000 people from stupid broke to self-defined millionaires. This is my definition, I think, of my self-defined millionaire, at least for now, is this. I want to be able to go into Costco and buy anything I want without worrying about price tags. That's my definition, my personal definition that I'm running on. Your personal definition for rich might be something else, but if I know I'm in the position where all my bills are paid, everything's taken care of, building up savings, building up retirement, all those different things, and I feel 100% that I could just walk into Costco, shop Costco, and literally just buy the foods I want to buy without being like, oh, that's $11. Okay, I'm on a budget of $120 today, so that's 10% of my budget. And no, I like that's where I want to get to. But I would also add to that, just kind of in the context of this, is like I would say, my self-defined millionaire would also be something along the lines of being willing, able, and at hand to pay for any struggling person's groceries. You know, any person who's struggling to pay for their groceries in front of me in any store at a moment's notice. That's the level that I want to be at. You know, again, not for glory, not for fame, not like I'm going to come on here and publicize it and say, you know, this DoorDash driver paid for 10 different people's groceries. Look at how awesome he is. Not about that. But just to be in that position where I can just do that. That's where I want to get to for blessing people, and do it in a way where I'm not, like you're saying, Cat and Jack, not blessing myself broke, but that I'm just, I have that freedom, you know, and to keep going. And you know, people can criticize all they want, and I don't know the man, but you know, I look at what Mr. Beast has done. Sure, he's made tons of fun videos and over the top videos and crazy videos, but the amount of people that he has been able to bless through what he's done, you know, is super, super impressive. Okay? Don't know the man, never met the man. I would love to meet the man. I would love to get the chance to win one of his contests so I could pay off the rest of my debt. But what's impressive is what he's done to help tons of people, and not always looking for publicity. Yeah, of course he makes content out of it, but he's not always about publicity with it. He's just out to bless other people, but also make quality content, which also blesses people, right? Like running a quality YouTube channel that's got good entertainment on it is a blessing to people as well. In addition to the individual people, and the contests and stuff that he's run that have changed people's lives. And so it's like, I'm never expecting this channel to be the same size as a Mr. Beast channel, but I want to have that heart of serving other people in every way that I can. But it starts today, right? You just serve where you can today. And you maybe can't always serve in the financial way. We shared a couple weeks ago on this channel, we had one of my son's baseball coaches, they lost a loved one. And so we weren't in a position to do anything crazy, but we at least put together a supper for him. You know, my wife made a lasagna. I went out, shopped the ingredients. My wife put everything together, made a lasagna for them. Just take the burden of fixing meals off of them for a day. You know, so sometimes you bless through money, but sometimes you can just find ways to bless through other things that you do. So anyway, if anybody's got any other questions, feel free to chime in. My apologies for the beginning. I have no idea why there was issues with audio. I'm gonna maybe fiddle with that. Maybe I'll do like a little live stream later, just testing out. I don't know why. I did everything the same that I normally do, but the first couple minutes are just silent. So I'll after this post, I'll try to cut that off so it just hops right in to the audio. So channel update. We have high hopes of getting long form videos up this week. So the channel needs it. It needs it. Oh, by the way, we need less than 1,400 watch hours. That's the big thing. What was the number? 1,394, I think, is where we're at. 1,394 of the 3,000. So we are pushing ahead with a goal to, what are we picking up? Like 5 to 10 watch hours a day on our live stream days, I think. So whatever that is, so if we say 50 watch hours a week, that gives us 6 weeks. So we're hoping to be about 2/3 of the way there, to be about 2,000 watch hours by the end of July, I would say, is roughly where our goal is at. But if I can make a really killer long form video here, or something people want to watch, we'll try to do that. There's again, it's just been kind of slow and crazy, but we are now done with baseball season, and I've got some ideas of what I kind of want my daily schedule to look like and different things, and trying to cut these streams kind of right at the hour mark so it doesn't get too late, so I can get good sleep and hopefully be up earlier. We are getting our YouTube store. Our eBay store is starting. I am starting to list one new item a day in the eBay store, which is not a lot, but it has woken the store up. It's crazy. Both of the last 2 days, my new listings go live at 7 p.m. And within 1 hour of my listing going live the last 2 days, we got a sale of a totally different item. So not the same item I listed, but a totally different item that had been sitting for months. So as we start to feed eBay more, hopefully that will start to turn over our inventory faster as well, because you can see the mess of boxes that we have here, and I've got a mess of, I want to say probably about 15 more of those boxes in my room right now that I am that we're in the process of sorting out into player lots. So not just one card of a single player, but sometimes 30 or 40 cards of a same player. So we're going to try to get those cleared through our eBay store. I am also planning on rebooting or starting to reboot my Amazon store this week. So we've got goals of long form videos on the next YouTube video. That is on the top of my mind, and I know Kat and Jack, you've been waiting patiently for that. And an Amazon FBA video and upside update. I think I'm gonna just hold off on the upside update video till the end of June, so it'll just be like our end of June summary video. So that'll probably just wait a week. So if you're not yet saving and getting cash back using the Upside app to get cash back on your gas, there is a link if you click down in the description below that you can do that, and we give shout outs to everyone who has signed up through that affiliate link and then filled up their tank at least once. And there's still that $5 promo, so you get a bonus $5 of cash back on your first fill up. And so we're using that as a goal to pay off one of our credit cards that has a $540 balance on it. So if you want to get in as a thank you on that video, you can do that. I'm also going to start thanking my patrons, both free and paid patrons, in upcoming videos. So there's a link to the Patreon in the description below. You can join for free. You get limited access, but you still get some behind the scenes access, or you can join on paid tiers as low as $5 a month to just kind of support the channel, help us grow, help us get some microphones that'll actually microphone, since apparently these aren't working anymore. I'll fiddle with it and see if I can get that figured out. So a couple ways that you can support the channel. It is coming, I promise. The long form videos are coming, but we got car repairs tomorrow, so so goes the life of a delivery driver. So we gotta hopefully praying for one of the low end, either, you know, yeah, one of the low end problems of why our engine is overheating. So like a broken thermostat would be kind of nice. But we're gonna do that. That's basically it. If anybody got anything else to say, chime in. Again, my apologies for the audio issues at the beginning of the night, but thank you so much for tuning in. We're almost out of this Wonder Water, caffeinated water. So I think we have I think these might be the last 2 bottles that we have left now. So anyway, I think with that, I think we're going to go. Appreciate you so much. We will be back here tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Okay, so Sunday through Thursday night, 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we go live on the stream. But thank you everybody for tuning in. If you missed anything, talked about my experience as a customer on Instacart today, not as a delivery driver, but as a customer. So you can go rewind that to the beginning as well. So thank you all. Happy Sunday. Hope you have an awesome week ahead.